The Outer Worlds released all over the world last night. I've now played it for a few hours and want to give a short but detailed review based on my first impressions of the game. This first impression is not tainted by any previously released articles or reviews, as in my usual style I have avoided all pre-release information and gone in blind. This will be completely free of story spoilers, but will of course have some minor mechanics and visual location spoilers, but only for the first zone. I'll be going over graphics, gameplay, inventory, the leveling skills and perk system, crafting and more, so let's get right into it. So firstly, the graphics. This game is beautiful. It uses a wide and vibrant colour palette without it being too much at all. The environments are filled with various flora with high detail and bright colours. The grass even moves around you as you sneak through. The NPCs and mobs have pretty great movement animations, which really helps with the immersion. It's fairly terrifying to see a giant primal beast charging toward you, basically a space gorilla. The building design is very nice. If I were to compare it to anything to give you a baseline, it would be similar to Fallout with a hint of Bioshock, a very dystopian atmospheric feel, at least to the first zone. Next is gameplay. It took me a few hours to get into the movement as far as aiming goes, though I am playing on Supernova difficulty, and I'm the type to search every last part of everything to leave no stone unturned, so my few hours isn't all that much actual combat. Though after a few bouts, aiming and general movement clicked a fair bit. Once you've judged how much you spin when turning right and left and so forth, you have it down. The movement system is actually really nice. You can do all the usual movement as well as dash left, right and backward. This small addition makes fights, especially with beasts, very fun, allowing for fast-paced combat for those who wish it. Another big thing to the combat is the bullet time style time dilation ability. As you would expect, it slows time greatly, allowing you to more calmly aim and get your critical hits in, often saving your bacon from a final blow. Hovering your sights over different points of an enemy during time dilation can show you what effect hitting that point can have, like shooting a beast in the eyes to blind it. The ability to see this is a passive skill gained from increasing your long gun skill, but it's obtainable almost right away and is just one of many pretty darn swift skills in this massive skill system. Mob AI seems really good. They don't see all that far, though that distance is affected by your sneak as well as whether you are crouched, walking or sprinting. This is kind of good as they don't appear on your radar until you are somewhat close. During combat the AI seems good, but a little inconsistent. They will take cover but also sometimes run past you to do this. I have a feeling that AI during combat is built around the general effect of what they achieve and not whether what they do is particularly realistic or clever. Though then again, all I have really fought are marauders, who are likely to be morons, so really you could say it's pretty realistic. The primal beasts are actually very good in their combat as they act like gorillas, which is pretty much a charge to wood and smash type deal. Overall I really like the general gameplay. It flows well, it's far more sophisticated than other games of its type, and my former primary gripe about not being able to stealth kill right away is actually gone, as really doesn't such a thing require skill and so you should train and earn that. I think I've been ruined by other games allowing such a thing so early. This isn't Splinter Cell and I'm not a secret agent. The inventory, which is a big thing for this type of game, is actually super good. It, as you may expect, works on weight and not the number of items. The weight allowed from the start is actually pretty decent for the number of items you find. You won't be going into your inventory every minute to throw some low value items away, and even if you do, Obsidian has you covered, as they added one of the best auto sort systems I've seen, with an epic setting. You can sort everything by name, value, weight, and even value to weight ratio. This is such a small but epic thing for hoarders like me in these types of games. Just being able to quickly sort your junk by value to weight ratio will save you likely hours over a full and horrifyingly thorough playthrough. The inventory is split up into weapons, armour, consumables, modifications, general, quest items and junk, which is nice and simple and keeps things neat. Your weapons inventory shows all your weapons and your 4 equipped weapon slots, so you can just drag and drop, as well as your ammunition, which has been made very simple with just light, heavy and energy. Each weapon has on its tooltip very basic information. Sadly, this is a bad thing for min-maxers, as without things like range, speed and so on, we can't really do too detailed theory crafting, though it does display damage and DPS, so we can find out the fire rate. Each weapon will show the skill required to use it, the damage and the special effect it has, and for weapons that require ammunition, it also has a magazine size and the type of ammunition it uses with its DPS in the top right corner. For such a simple tooltip that will be a great sight for many, it has a lot of information allowing you to make nice quick decisions when out in the field on which weapons to use. Some melee weapons have special effects like bleed or knockdown, with some guns having bleed, knockback, stagger and so forth. I expect there are some extra special weapons out there that may have more than one special effect, but I'm very early in the game at the moment, so that will have to wait for a future guide. They do also have the level, though this doesn't appear to be a requirement, as I used an assault rifle which has a level 5 weapon at level 2, so I expect this is more of a guide to its power rating, or just a version of that weapon. Armour also has a level, but more importantly has an armour rating, armour typing and a skill bonus, which for the two items I have are just a +5 in a skill like one-handed melee and tech skills, the former being a specialised skill with the latter being a core skill which covers 3 specialised skills. On that note, we'll move to the levelling system with its skills, attributes and perks. This whole thing is somehow both very complex and simple at the same time. That doesn't make much sense in theory, but they have made a complex system extremely easy to understand and very streamlined. It is genuinely quite a beautiful thing. So we'll start with the attributes. There are 6 attributes split up into 3 categories: body, mind and personality. Body covers strength and dexterity, mind covers intelligence and perception, and personality covers charm and temperament. At the beginning of the game you are made to be average in all and given 6 points to deal among the attributes. Each attribute covers various skills and basic things, so strength covers melee weapons, heavy weapons, block, inspiration and intimidate, as well as melee damage and carrying capacity. I find this especially awesome because strength doesn't just boost pure strength, it also boosts what would often in these type of games be considered a personality or persuasion trait, like intimidate and inspiration. I won't go through everything in this video as I'm trying to be somewhat concise, but I will likely make a standalone guide on this whole subject with great detail and also put up tables with all the information on my website, which is linked in the pinned comment. Another awesome thing you can do is downgrade an attribute to give yourself a flaw, which I really like and kind of wish I'd done at the beginning. I don't really know if I'll have another chance yet. One cool thing about this, which was mentioned in the live chat of my launch stream, which is a minor mechanic spoiler, so you've been warned, is that by taking a flaw against your intelligence you can unlock dumb answers in dialogue. This is such a cool addition to the game and I imagine it would lead to some hilarious dialogue. After the attributes you choose your aptitude, which is essentially what your character was doing originally. Things like janitor, vending machine engineer, science assistant, level 0 class A, and more, which give a boost in a specific skill and help to give your character a bit of backstory. I'm expecting this aptitude to play a part in the game and not just be an initial tiny skill boost. I went for Science Assistant level 0 class A, which gave a +1 to science. The way it is worded and its place in my summary makes it seem like this may lead to some quests only available to one with that background and skill set, which could potentially lead to increasing that skill set for higher bonuses and just general roleplay fun. Then there are the skills. At the beginning you are given 2 points to put into core skills. You cannot double down on a single core skill, and each of these points will put 10 points into the specialised skills within the core skills. So you have melee, range, defense, dialogue, stealth, tech and leadership. These are the 7 core skills. Within these core skills are 2 to 3 specialised skills, so melee has 1 and 2-handed melee, ranged has handguns, long guns and heavy weapons, defense has dodge and block, dialogue has persuade, lie and intimidate, stealth has sneak, hack and lockpick, tech has medical science and engineering, and finally leadership has inspiration and determination. Each of these specialised skills have 5 base skills to unlock, as well as some base value they affect throughout the game. They all go from 0 to 100 and have a base skill to unlock at every 20 for novice, competent, adept, expert and master. When you level, you are given 10 points to put into these, and each point will give +1. In the beginning, those points will be added to the core skills, giving +1 per point to the skills within the core skill, up until rank 50, at which point you'll be able to focus your skill points to the specialised skills within. As with the rest, I'll be sorting all of this information into tables and such on my website for quicker lookups and easier planning of your builds. Lastly, there are perks. Perks are, as you might expect, handy bonuses to things that help to focus what your character is really good at. You get a new perk every 2 levels on the even level. There are 3 tiers of perks, and you may spend your perk points on any perk within the tiers you have access to. Tier 2 unlocks after obtaining 5 perks, so unlocks at level 10, but you will be able to put your first perk point in at level 12. Tier 3 unlocks after picking your level 20 perk. Each tier has 14 perks available within it. These are such things as plus 50% base health, plus 50% XP from kills made by your companions, fast travelling while encumbered, plus 50% to your tactical time dilation recharge rate, and more. As you can tell from all that, there is an awful lot to this system, but the way it is presented and just how it works as you level is a really big deal. In my opinion, it's fantastic, and I really like how they've done it. Last is crafting. This is something else that has been made great for customizing but also super simple. Workbenches allow you to do 4 things: modify, tinker, repair and break down. Modifying a weapon or piece of armour means putting modifications that you find in the wild or purchase on that item. Each item has augmentation slots. These slots change dependent on the weapon. So a basic assault rifle has 2 slots, one for magazine and one for sights. So any modifications you find for a scope or increased mag that will work with this weapon can be equipped. One of the things I found nice and early was a backpack. This can be attached to armour in the utility slot to give an extra 20 kg of carrying capacity, which is a great idea. A basic revolver, light pistol or sawn-off shotgun has a single slot to upgrade, some being barrel and some being magazine, while basic melee weapon might just have a single slot for an attack modification like this hammer that has a Mr. Zap modification that changes the damage type to shock and may increase it too. Tinkering, another thing you can do at workbenches, uses bits, which is the currency in Outer Worlds. You use it to upgrade the most basic of stats for that weapon or armour, which is its damage for weapons or armour rating for armour. It appears at the beginning at least to be a fairly consistent cost per level of tinkering, though the cost does seem to rise with the level of each item, so 50 bits for the first level and so on, which adds what appears to be around 10%, which is pretty swish really. Tinkering to upgrade an item will increase its level. Tinkering again will produce diminishing returns as far as increases to the damage or armour, and the cost to do so will increase as you go. I love this kind of thing in games like this. I like being able to find a really cool weapon that I like and then upgrade it further, and spend a lot focusing on that specific weapon to keep it with me as I gain higher level weapons that I maybe don't like using as much. That being said, I do not know the limits of tinkering, but plan to find out pretty quickly. Next is repairing. This uses armour and weapons parts gathered by breaking down armour and weapons to repair other armour and weapons. If you have 20 or higher in engineering, you can repair in your inventory without the need for a workbench, which is handy. Lastly is breakdown, which seems to be just a specialist screen for breaking down weapons and armour, as you can also do this in your inventory, and I can't see a skill I have that specifically allows this, so I figure it is universal. And that is it for my first impressions review. Stick around by subscribing and ringing the bell for more Outer Worlds content. I'll be streaming Outer Worlds every day around 7 PM BST, except for Sundays where I stream No Man's Sky over on the Xaine's World channel. Expect guides and other cool videos for the Outer Worlds as I uncover and analyse this seemingly wonderful game. Website, Discord, merch store and Patreon all linked in the pinned comment. Have a fantastic day all.